Yep. Adrian, I guess we're good. Good evening, everybody. I'll go ahead and get this evening's meeting started. Though it's February, but this is actually our January meeting because of the snow. We're just now getting around to this. So I want to welcome everybody this evening, and excited to see Ms. Crawford back with us.
I want to say something to my fellow board members. Thank y'all so much for all you've done. And everybody else, thank y'all for your prayers, because this is why I'm here. So thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Thank you. Mr. Caldwell, if you don't mind.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Ash, mind to read the Clay County Schools mission statement, please?
The mission of Clay County Schools is to build high-quality learning environments that ensure all students learn at high levels.
Thank you. The only announcement we have is our next regular meeting will be February the 23rd here in the boardroom at 6 o'clock. You have the agenda in front of you. It's also emailed to you in your board packet. So I'll ask for approval of the agenda as it's presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the
Ms. Crawford, is there a second? Mr. Caldwell, second. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you. Is there any public comment? No public comments, so we'll move right into the recognitions section of the meeting. Ms. Crawford.
Yeah. So January is School Board Appreciation Month, and even though it's February, we didn't want to miss the opportunity to recognize and celebrate our board members for what they bring to our school system, not just in these meetings, but there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to keep things moving. And I'm very grateful for each of these individuals up here and their commitment to our school system. And we just want to honor them, and what better way to do that than with children? So we've got some guests here that are going to come in and serenade our board. So y'all are in for a treat. Come on up. We want you to turn and look at them, okay? Okay. So, hey, can you guys step forward just a little bit? And turn around. You're going to see Denise out. All right. There you go. Y'all ready? Y'all ready?
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when the skies are gray. You never know me, how much I love you. So please don't take my sunshine away.
Thank you, Miss Perry.
Thank you, Joe.
I love you.
It was sweet.
That's always a precious gift.
Yeah.
So sweet.
It was good. And next we have our new National Board Certified Teachers, Miss Angel Owens.
So, at the beginning of this school year, every school year, we recognize who in our district is a National Board Certified teacher. We have to stand up, we recognize them, just so everybody can, take note of that accomplishment, because it is a major feat, and it's very time consuming, stressful, I believe ladies would agree at times, but, so we always recognize it. So at the end of the year, we had 14 teachers that held their National Board Certification. And on December 6th this year, we found out that 6 more of our teachers earned their National Board Certification. We're so very proud of them. That brought our total up to 20 National Board Certified teachers. And we are still being recognized at this point as a National Board Distinguished District. So that's a really good accomplishment for a district our size. So kudos to that. Okay, so at the Hayesville Primary School, we have 6 National Board Certified teachers now. At Hayesville Elementary, we have 5. At Hayesville Middle, we have 1. At Hayesville High School, we have 6. And then for central office staff, we have 2. All right, Adrian? So, in December, we found out that Miss Adriana Deaver, Adriana Deaver, our 2nd grade teacher, early childhood generalist. Tara Roberts, 1st grade teacher, but early childhood generalist. Megan Taylor, a 2nd grade teacher, but early childhood generalist. Katie is in the back. Katie is a 3rd grade teacher. She earned her early childhood generalist. Christina McClure, she received her early childhood generalist. And Susan Rexter, hey, 4th grade early childhood generalist. So we are so proud of these ladies. So let's give them something we decided to do about 5 years ago, I believe 5 or 6, is we put a plaque on every National Board Certified teacher's door. That it just distinguishes the year that they earned it, the area that they're certified in, come on to the center. And the maintenance crew will be installing these on your doors. But I want to get a picture of it because Chrissy and Susan and
That's sweet.
I'm so proud of all of you. Robert,
She's gonna stand up.
Yes, good lady, stand up. Yes. Still coming, yes. There.
Okay, all right. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Next, we have our report section, and we'll start that with Mr. Jim Saltz and CTE intern reports.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's with great pleasure that I present to you Mr. Adrian Fuentes, who is going to be reporting on his fall internship. I would like to point out that the CTE internship programs, they bridge the gap between the schooling and the actual workplace. It's a win-win because our community partners in industry and business, they are investing in our future. So I now turn over to you, Mr. Adrian Fuentes.
Thank you very much. Good evening, my name is Adrian Fuentes. As you know, I'm 18 years old. I'm a senior at Hazelville High School, and I participated in the CTE internship program with Ledford Park. So, my tasks and schedule with Ledford Parker, my tasks consist of maintenance of the diesel equipment and the fleet vehicles that are a part of the Ledford Parker umbrella. And obviously with heavy equipment, there's always heavy maintenance and repair to be done. I also do porting work, so that is just cleaning any equipment that may be needed. This is all in an objective to gain a higher education and to pique my interest in the diesel mechanics field of study. My hours include from that time that I get out of lunch, close to 1:37, all the way to 5 o'clock, so closing time. And I get as many hours in that day as I possibly can, and then on to the next day. Obviously, my schedule is not the same as everyone in the company, but the sites are operational. This includes the home shop at Koala Road, I believe, open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So, the company mission, services, and internship objectives. LP is a commercial service and contracting company, as well as we do some residential work that includes paving, construction, excavation, essentially anything to do from the construction and grading. So that includes electrical. We do septic work. They handle all aspects of the work. That includes budgeting, planning, equipment operation, anywhere from the planning and the planning operations and all the way to the laborers and anything necessary to complete the job. The ultimate goal of the internship would include to gain a higher interest and proficiency with the heavy equipment and vehicles that are provided by the company. This is all an end result to gaining a higher education in diesel mechanics and heavy diesel equipment. So my accomplishment and notable skills. This is a long list of equipment, service trucks that includes mining trucks, rock trucks, excavators, all sorts of equipment that may need service. And these are all things that I've conducted myself. So these are replacements of electronic components within door panels, all the way to replacing an injector on a massive rock truck. My greatest challenges with Ledford Parker have actually not been in terms of the bureaucracy of the company. I fit very well, in my opinion, to the company, and I love it there. But the biggest challenges today are still mechanical issues in terms of service, and this is sort of a rant in a way, but with everything getting more electronic and a whole lot more computerized, the biggest challenges are maintaining that and the reliability of these said components in electronic contraptions. My takeaway is that working with LMP has taught me the importance of hard work and accountability. The company is structured so that the most hardworking and dedicated can rise to the top of the ranks quickly. I personally have loved my job at Ledford Parker every second of it, and that includes anything from sweeping floors to working the machinery to fixing it, maintaining it, or even digging trench holes. I have loved every bit of it, and I continue to love every day of the work that I do, and I hope to get a 2-year degree, associates with also a math and English credit for my associate's degree in heavy diesel equipment, so I may start my own business in diesel repair. I'd like to add that I was just accepted to Nashville Auto Diesel College, and hopefully this job will give me a little bit of money to put towards that, and it has really opened the gate for me in terms of getting into the real workforce and the real world. Thank you very much to Ledford Park for that. And special thanks to the owners and co-owners, and that would be Tony Ledford, Joe Ledford, Cameron Bethel, Steve Secco, Kurt Kelly. These are also my CTE coordinators and managers, supervisors, Tim Kelly, Daniel Anderson, Rhonda Palmer, and Wade Byers. My apologies, Mr. Saltz.
I just watched it before the meeting. Do you have any questions about the impact of the program itself, or about the impact of his work and community partnerships?
I just have to say what an important career you're going into for diesel mechanic. I don't know a lot about that stuff, but I know it's a very important, so that's exciting to see, Adrian. Very exciting.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of your internship? I mean, I know you liked a lot of it, but was there something in particular you liked the best?
That's a great question. I would probably say that I liked working on the service trucks and the fleet vehicles the most. I want to have my own diesel shop one day, and hopefully performance diesel is going to be in my future one day, and just getting a start to learn the trucks and such things, I think that was probably my favorite part.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations on acceptance to the diesel school. That's awesome.
Young man, you did a very good job. I'm very impressed.
Me too.
You'll go far.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry I didn't leave room for questions earlier, but
That's okay. You did very good. You're good.
Yes, you did. Your presentation skills are wonderful. You did a great job. Communication and presentation, so great job.
thank you. Appreciate it. I just
Congratulations, buddy. Yes, sir.
Clarissa, did you video this for honoring?
Great job.
It was very impressive.
We don't normally get that kind of
No, that's nice. Yeah.
appreciate y'all having me.
School buses.
And just what you said.
All of them.
That's amazing.
I was just going to say, I think internships are something that we really have worked hard to create and sustain, and I think this just shows the importance of why it's important for us to make those opportunities available, because there's so much of what was described here that we can't replicate in a classroom, and so I appreciate the efforts to set these things up, and then for Ledford and Parker for working with us and being a great partner for us. Yeah.
Very good. Next, we have our mid-year data reports. We'll start with the elementary school and Ms. Christie.
I can't believe we're already talking about middle of year, but it's already came and gone. I have a lot of exciting data to show you guys. It's in the format that you guys have all seen before. We are still using iReady, so we're going to see lots of greens, which is a good thing. We have some yellows and reds too, but we have really increased our amount of greens this year so far, and we're really excited to share that with you. So I'm going to start with third grade. Third grade, I have the BOI compared to the middle of the year so that we can really see how far these third grade teachers have grew these third grade students already. We had 41 students at the beginning of the year who came into third grade on or above grade level. And now we have 73 students on or above grade level. That is huge. We also went from having 29 students who were 2 or 3 years below 3rd grade, and now we only have 8 students who are 2 or 3 years below grade level in 3rd grade reading. 3rd grade reading here is huge because we have the whole Read to Achieve legislation where students have to meet a pathway in order to be able to go to 4th grade. And unfortunately, iReady is not a pathway, but their growth in this area is going to show through on their other areas, their other assessments. So we're excited about that. The next slide, we also do in-class for 3rd grade. This did not show as big of an increase in our greens, which means on or above grade level or on grade level, but a lot of that is due to they are having to read out loud in quick minutes or 2 minutes with another teacher, and sometimes that just they're not able to read as fast and it just catches them. So that is why I think we see the biggest difference between the iReady data and the in-class for 3rd grade. 3rd grade math started the year out with only 9 students on or above grade level, and they now have 34 students across the grade level that are on or above. So again, they started the year, if you're looking at how many are below grade level, with 27, and now there are only 8 who are 1 or more years below, or 2 or more years below grade level, which is really, really big. They have a lot of new concepts that they learned in 3rd grade with multiplication and division and fractions, so all of that comes pretty quickly with 3rd grade math. So I'm really excited to see our hard work with our math interventions and our reading interventions that we've done so far this year to bring those students who are below grade level closer to grade level. All right, 4th grade. We also saw some growth, not quite as much with our 4th grade reading, but we did go from having 44 students on or above grade level to having 55 students on or above grade level. We also shrunk the number of students who were 2 or below, so the red and the red striped there, from 16 down to only 12 students. That is for reading. And then for 4th grade math, you can see a big jump with our green stripe. We had 27 students on or above grade level at the beginning of the year, and now we have 64 students on or above. Something that's good to note, especially with this 4th grade team, is this is a brand new team. Only 2 of the teachers on the 4th grade team have taught 4th grade in that subject. Several members of that team come from a different school, different grade level. We've had new teachers this year, so all of this growth is really important to us because it's just showing everybody is working well together, collaborating, and getting the job done even in some, new situations that they may be in. Okay, and then 5th grade. 5th grade reading, again, good growth. We went from 36 students on or above at the beginning of the year to now having 50 students on or above grade level. This is the cohort of students who we've seen and recognized the last couple of years for having, as Clay County Schools, the highest 4th grade district performing on the EOGs. So I'm excited to see what they do this year. As you can tell, we started the year with pretty much 50% on grade level. So I'm excited to see how much farther we go from middle to the end of the year. And then that was for reading. And then for math, we started the year with 33 on grade level, and now we have 45 that are on above grade level. So lots of growth going in there too. We're proud. We've worked hard since the beginning of the year, so they're not slowing down. They're still giving it their best. So I can't wait to see what we.
Did you guys test in December?
We did not. We did last year, but we tested when we came back. So in January. Yeah. Our teachers just recently had a day where they had subs in their classrooms to where they, as a grade level, could come into a room together and dive into grade level data. A lot of the times they just look at their classroom, but it's important to look at the whole grade level to see where our strengths are so that we can, pull those together. They do a great job of sharing kids for interventions. They don't just have their students to meet the needs. They mix them around so that we have a strong teacher working with students who are in a tier 3 group. If their strength is meeting those needs, then we put those students within for interventions. So that's been really helpful too.
Questions, comments? Good. Nice job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the middle school, Dr. Touchdown.
Ours is going to be a little bit different. Ms. Valkyrie knows I'm not looking forward to this because we had some issues with, we'll just put it out there, cheating. And so I'm not sure later that I can get into that a little bit more. I wasn't able to compare what was similar to like the elementary school, so the side-by-side comparisons, because we had to kind of put a sports analogy, we had to like back up and punt after we figured out what was going on. So periods, and we'll go with it from there. I kind of point out different things. So instead of kind of doing side-by-side comparisons, go ahead, Aaron. This is, so just so you know, so the BOY for the beginning, so those scores, and this is IXL, not I-ready. So the students in 6th grade math started out at that 492 and then grew to that 501, the MOY. And I put 2 different slides in here, maybe you can go into the next one. That way you can kind of see the growth there. So the growth obviously above the line is positive and below the line is negative, and you can see some big jumps in there. And you know that, sometimes depending on the days middle school students, or probably any students, whether they want to test, whether they like you that day or don't like you that day, or their boyfriend broke their woman, or whatever it is that's going on for middle school students. But we did have 49.4%. You can see some of the very positive growth in there. So I just kind of wanted to show the entire grade is, the bars are one for each individual student. So we've got some work to do there, but we're going in the positive direction. So then 6th grade ELA, so they started out there at that, this is one of our highlights here. They started out on grade level. That means 616, like 6th grade, second month, right around through there. So they're right where they need to be with the 654 of the middle of the year, so 6th grade, 5th month. So we're proud of that. And then you can kind of see the individual students on the next slide there. You can see, I noticed one of the students had almost 500 points of growth there. So there's some big things there. The 7th grade math, so again, 7th grade started out a little bit below grade level, the 561, and now they're the 611. So again, we're going in the right direction. We're working really hard with the interventions right now to get, kind of like Ms. Teague said, with getting those interventionists in there that really, the math and science teams work together to provide math interventions, and the ELA and social studies also do that. And we do have some community for students volunteers coming in to help us with our math and reading there. And then you can see the growth there, the 73% of the students demonstrated growth in 7th grade math. And you have some outliers, if you notice the 3 or 4 that are really below that line that can kind of bring you down. But again, I don't feel like it's that they didn't know what they were doing, but they just chose not to do what they were doing at that time, for whatever reason. And then we get to 7th grade ELA, which is also a bright spot. So if you see, they started out above the mid-year at that 776, so it was increasingly difficult to show growth when right now they should be about a 750, but they're already at a 789. And again, this is a teacher that is brand new to 7th grade ELA and is doing a wonderful job in there, so we're really proud of that. And then of course you can see the individual student growth, and of course you get the big outlier in there with minus 400 points. So you're kind of at the mercy of what attitude a middle schooler brings that day. And then we get to 8th grade math, and of course y'all, I think everybody here, at least board members and superintendent, know my feelings about 8th grade math and how difficult it can be. So there is growth there. Of course, we want to see a whole lot more growth in the 8th grade math, but it's very difficult material compared to what the math one is. And then, but although they're not on grade level right now, if you look at the next page, they did show a lot of growth there. So we're proud of those students, and there's, over 50% have grown, so especially with that curriculum, we're really proud of that. And then there's approximately 25 students in this class here. And then if you get to math 1, so math 1, those are our beginning, the 705 and all the way to the 746. So we've got approximately 2/3 of our students in 8th grade in the math 1 classes. And And then you can see their individual bars on the next slide. You can see the growth there. And then we come up to the crux of everything when we get to 8th grade ELA, and this is where I want to put a caveat, like in the Sports Hall of Fame, they put the asterisk where they may have had 63 home runs, but they might have been taking a supplement or something. Our supplement, we found out as Adriana had discussions, was Google Lens. So Google Lens is, and we actually did find out that through the honesty of students. So that was a character building moment. We'll take some positives out of it. That they were using this and had been using this, and the issue with it was because it was a Google-based product, and Adrian, you can jump in anytime. So the way we track what students are doing is if they open up a different tab in a different window, we can check their history. Well, as the 8th grade scores were coming in, I had students coming up, hey, I'm at a 11th grade level, I'm at a 12th grade level, and I'm thinking, wow, that's awesome. You went from a 4th grade level to, so I did have some conversations with, and I know I probably shouldn't say this, but if you're going to cheat, at least be smart about it. You can't grow 8th grade level, so come on. 1 or 2 maybe, but let's I appreciate the, trying to really go for it. So that's how we found out. We started researching, no, wait a minute. And then some of them, like I said, they confessed and put my, guilt on them and the mama eyes and, all that kind of stuff. And so we had probably about 20 in 8th grade that did say, yes, I did. We know there are more that didn't confess. If you keep going to the next slide there, Adrian, notice one student dropped 800 points. So there's something to be said for that. I don't feel like this is a true representation of where they are. And we did have some that came to us in 7th and 6th and did say, yes, we used it too. But Google Lens, what it does, if you have your screen, your test program up, and IXL is not a secure program, but we're working on that. There's a little icon that the students can click on. When they click on it, all they have to do is highlight the question. And it doesn't open up a new box or a new tab, it opens up a box within that window so we can't track it. And it gives them the answer. So, hey, we've all been in middle school. I can't say that I might not have used it also. But we had students from, ones that didn't need to use it, the ones that really did need to use it, and it was kind of rampant all the way through. But we do feel like, even though some of them even came back, the ones that did confess to cheating, did improve their score anyway. And so, we're all parents and we know that, they're going to do exactly what you let them get away with. And sometimes they work harder to cheat than they do just to get out of something than to just do it to begin with. So that's where we are right now.
The good news is that when we do state testing, it's not through Google.
It's not.
So there's not this option. It's when we're using web-based products that this has become an issue.
And we have been in contact with IXL and working with Adrian to get a securer, I guess, platform. But I mean, it's just like cheat codes in games. You figure them all out and then they get another one. But I don't want that to be reflective of the students. Students were teachers. There's some good things going on there.
Yeah.
Questions?
Comments? Very good. Thank you.
For the next section.
Next, Ms. Godfrey with the strategic plan rewrite.
Okay, so the first thing I'm on the agenda for is the strategic plan rewrite. I'm really, really excited about this. Our strategic plan is up on the wall, and as you notice that these goals were set to be completed by 2026, or in 2026. Additionally, we just had a review of our progress, and we only had about 3 indicators that we were still working on, so it's a good time for us to be working on our strategic plan rewrite. But also, the State Department and the new Superintendent Mo Green just rolled out their strategic plan. So We've probably needed to be working on this strategic plan throughout this whole school year, but we kind of delayed working on it because we think it's really important to make sure it mimics, mirrors, and aligns to the state plan. So we let them roll out their plan. As you can see at the top of our current strategic plan, there's the state board, goal 1, goal 2, goal 3. The new state superintendent's plan has 8, not goals, pillars. So there are 8 categories that his strategic plan addresses. And so we want our strategic plan, at least in part, to be aligned to those pillars. And so I wanted to walk you through kind of what our intended plans are for the upcoming semester as we work toward rewriting the strategic plan. Our goal is to have the strategic plan approved at the June 29th Board of Education meeting. So this timeline will walk you through what our plans are between now and then. And of course, we'll be updating you along the way. So our first is really the phase we're in right now, listen and diagnose. We'll spend about 6 weeks in this phase. And the goal of this phase is really just to gather what are people's hopes, what are the barriers, and from that we're going to figure out what must be true. In other words, what do we hear over and over and over again? And the way we're going to accomplish that is through a district-wide survey that will go to students, staff, families, and community. We're going to have focus groups that are smaller and targeted. We plan to offer 3 community listening sessions, and I'll announce the dates for those at our regular February meeting. We're going to have student voice roundtables at the various schools to get student input on what they want to see as our goals moving forward, and then also have pulse interviews with principals and department leads. So this is really just for 6 weeks, we're just working on gathering as much information as we can, which will lead us to phase 2, which is co-design and draft, and that's when we really start to synthesize those responses from all these different places that we're pulling from. Compare that to our mission and vision alignment. We want to make sure that anything that we're putting in place aligns with our mission and vision. Of course, we want to stick to the 8 pillars that mirror the state board plan. And for each pillar, we want to come up with a where are we, where does the data say we are, what are 2 to 4 strategies for that pillar in plain language that everyone can understand, including students. How will we measure our progress in those indicators? And then how are we going to prioritize our actions? What's going to come first? So we will decide if this is going to be a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan as we go through. In weeks 13 through 18, so these are like 6 weeks intervals, is the validating stress test phase, which is where we want to make sure it's measurable, fundable, and understood. There's a lot of things, and if you've been on social media lately, you know there's a lot of things that people in our state, our community would love to see us offer, and we would love to offer all those things, but we also have to make sure we have funding available to offer those things. And so this will be the stage where we really have the red team, as we're calling it, which will be the principals, finance, HR, EC, ELs, all of those, and we'll really evaluate what's unrealistic, what's unfunded, or what's unclear. We'll hold a community open house and an online feedback forum for our draft plan at this point. We will have staff meeting toolkit where our principals can talk to their staff about what's in the strategic plan. And then, of course, we want to run it by students and say, does this match your experience? Does this match what you want to see changed about your schools? So that's our phase 3. Phase 4 would be kind of the final touches, final proofreading, do a work session with the board before we submit it for approval to make sure that the board doesn't have any questions or concerns that we need to address before it goes up for adoption. We would post it for 2 weeks ahead of time as well. And then of course have the adoption packet for the board. So that's our plan, divided into 6-week sections that will get us from now until June, and a rewritten strategic plan. So how many questions, concerns, thoughts about that? Okay.
Thank you. This is going to be great.
Yeah, we're really excited. I think since this plan was written, there's been a lot of new people and new places, and so I think we're all ready to have some ownership
always this, yeah.
Any other
Any other
thoughts?
questions, comments? Very good. So school calendar options? Yeah.
Next, we're going to talk about 2 options that our team has put together for the next year's school calendar. I want to share with you the process that we went through to come up with these options. We had each school go through their school improvement team, which includes parents and staff members at each school, and they created a draft that they would like to see. And then we brought those 4 options together as a district leadership team. We narrowed it down on what we liked and maybe what we might want to change. Narrowed it down to 2 options from there, and those are being presented to you tonight. Both calendars have, in semester 1, 78 days, semester 2, 96 days. That's done so that we can test before Christmas for our high school students. Both options have 174 student days, 10 annual leave days, 11 holidays, 8 optional work days, 12 mandatory work days, 1,218 instructional hours, and both have August 24th as a start date and June 2nd as the end date. So you may be wondering, well, how are they different? So the next slide shares with you how they are different. The packet that you have in your folder has option 1 on the front, option 2 on the back. Option 1, there's a difference in these 2 calendars in the October workday, the February workday, and spring break. And so the October workday on option 1 is on Friday. On option 2 is on Monday. In February, they're both on Monday, but they're a week apart. One's on the 8th, one's on the 15th, and then spring break on option 1 is the 5th through the 9th of April. Option 2 is the 12th through the 16th. So the difference between those 2 spring breaks give a little bit of time, more time on the second option between Good Friday and spring break, whereas the option 1 has them a little bit closer together. Our leadership team is content with either one of these options, and so they want to leave it to the board to decide. We are putting this up for a first read and consideration so that you have some time to review it and ask any questions. In the meantime, I'm going to try and gather information from our other surrounding districts regarding their calendars to see if one aligns better for athletics. It used to be that the conference set spring break and everybody kind of adapted to that, and that's kind of not happened in the last few years. But I do think it's helpful to know kind of when others are taking their spring break. So between now and the February meeting, I will see what I can find out about those things. Do you have any questions right off? I know you need time to look over it.
Is there, I've probably heard just enough of this to be dangerous, the whole school calendar law, there was some talk of that recently. Is there any changes in that at all?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Senator Berger put out a calendar change, which would give us more flexibility. The problem with that for us is that it says the semesters have to be equal, which would require us to test after Christmas, which is not the desire of our high school. Mm-hmm. The superintendents have really pushed for that language, just that little phrase that the semesters have to be equal, to be taken out, and if so, we could start about a week and a half earlier, which would be very beneficial to us in helping us balance the semesters, but so far that hasn't happened.
All right. Thank you.
There continue to be schools that ignore the calendar at all.
Right, yeah.
So.
Any other questions or comments? Very good. Next we have the superintendent's report.
Okay. Keep in mind before I start talking that it's been like 6 weeks since we've had a meeting, so there's lots of things to share. I'll start with Hazel Intermediate School and give you an update on that. And we may have some pictures that I can share with you. I was in Hazel Intermediate School yesterday, and I was leading some people around, and after having been in the school the week before, and I was like, oh, we can go this way, and we went this way, and there was a wall that wasn't there the week before. So it just truly is progressing so quickly, and so much being done. But that picture on the left is the hallway that is from the main entrance down into the auditorium area. All the kids will come, they're riding in cars, will come in that door, come down the hall. Bus riders will come from a different direction, but that's the main entrance. Those other two pictures on the right-hand side are pictures of the auditorium. They just started working on this, the framing, so to speak, for the seats for the auditorium. So that's coming together very quickly. The pictures up top, you're going to see some pictures of classrooms, the media center. Kind of difficult to tell from these pictures exactly what's what, but you can see that the framing is really taking off. You're going to see some sheetrock in some places. They have the building completely closed in and heated, so it's really nice if you go out there. You don't have to worry about freezing when you walk through, which is nice. A few of us actually got on the roof, so that was fun. Mr. Jones and I were up there.
A little icy too.
It was a bit icy, and I was not dressed appropriately for that. So the view is absolutely gorgeous. Right now they have plastic over the windows, where the windows will be, so you can't really see the view. But getting on the roof, you can really appreciate what those kids are going to have as a view from those classrooms on that far side that's facing town. So. You can see Dr. Clapsaddle there in the middle in what will be her office. She's super excited about having her own bathroom, so very excited about that. But anyway, it is to me one of the most impressive parts of this building is there's a nurses area, and it has like a clinic area for exams. There's a quarantine room that has an exterior door so parents can pick up sick kids without the sick kids having to be, around everyone else. There's an office space. There's washers and dryers. It's just incredible what our kids are going to have access to moving forward. Really excited. These pictures are from the cafeteria. That top left is the serving line. The bottom left is the dry storage room, which is really impressive for how large that storage room is. Of course, you can see on the bottom the hood system that's been installed. And then that's just the seating area that you see in the top right. So. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit about what's happened in January. You'll be hearing this again in a couple of weeks about what's happened in February, but of course, I will say, they're installing 6,000 bricks a week on that building, and so it's amazing how quickly the brick has taken off. The interior hollow metal door frames and window frames are set throughout the building. As I said, it's now closed up, and there's temporary windows installed, temporary heat is on. They worked really hard to be able to do the brick and keep it heated, and so they're keeping that covered for 7 days to make sure it stays the appropriate temperature. The electricians continue with roughing throughout the building. The plumbers are continuing as well. The fire sprinkler contractor has been on site and has begun installing piping. We saw some of that yesterday when we were in there. The auditorium piping has been installed. And so all of those things are going to continue through into February, and they're actually going to be continuing with or beginning the installation of ductwork. So it's just happening so fast and so exciting. And one of the things I wanted to share in my report is that the middle school teachers got to go on a tour yesterday and see, and that really raised a lot of excitement for them about getting to see the building and envisioning what it's going to look like. And it was for the first time. Most of them had been in that building, and so it was fun to get to be a part of that and see their excitement. And I know Leemore, the receptionist, was just super excited about having a window, and so it was a lot of excitement, and the excitement we feel when we get to go in there is now getting spread to us now, and so that was exciting. So that's that. We've had a little bit of winter weather the last couple of weeks. This is our third reschedule of this meeting, so glad we're all finally here. Just want to say a huge thank you to, I've never worked in a community like Hayesville, and it has been such a blessing that even though at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to make a decision. I don't ever feel alone in that. Jimmy Moore is right there with me at all hours of the night, driving roads and communicating with me, and sometimes we go different directions, but we're on the phone. Preston King with DOT is always chatting with me about what's going on. Kevin Sellers with 911, Jeff Lippert with emergency management. Through each storm, as the storm came, we were getting information as to how to prepare for that. It's just been a real blessing in hard times to have people that are in the trenches with you making those decisions, and I'm very thankful for that. Also, super thankful for our maintenance crew. Even though sometimes we have to close school for everybody, the maintenance crew still comes and takes care of salting the sidewalks and scraping the parking lots and fixing the busted water lines. And so we did have a busted water line in our nurse's trailer that flooded the trailer. And so when everybody else is enjoying a day off at home, they're here pulling up flooring and doing the things. And so I'm very thankful for both of those teams and what they have been working on and helping with over the last few weeks. The State Board of Education meeting in January was something I was privileged to be able to attend. That was the first time I've ever attended a State Board meeting in Raleigh, and it was very much a learning experience. Their board meetings are 2 days long. I was very thankful that our board meetings are not 2 days long. But it was really interesting just to be there. One of the things that when superintendents go, they get to have lunch with the State Board, and so that was a great opportunity to shake hands and make connections, and it was a really great experience, and certainly something I'm thankful to do. And so they do invite one superintendent from each region every month, and so hopefully that's something I'll get to continue to do. It was fun. Wanted to tell you we got a $5,000 grant for feminine hygiene products. It allows us to provide feminine hygiene products to our kids in the bathroom without any charge to students, so kids are always prepared for whatever may come. We also use that money to buy underwear and leggings and things that might be needed if we're unprepared. So very thankful for that. We also started something new this year, and I want to just commend Jenny Bethel and her team. We've started serving breakfast on 2-hour delays. That's something that Jenny and I really wanted to make happen, and not only is it a convenience to our kids and parents, but it also, is supportive of our research about the importance of breakfast. And even though we might come into school a little late, we can't assume that kids have had breakfast. And so Jenny and our team worked really hard to provide that, and we're feeding almost 50% of our kids on 2-hour delay days. And so we've gotten our fill of that in January, but that's gone very, very well. This week is Donuts with Grown-Ups at the primary school, which is one of their family engagement opportunities. It's sponsored by the PTO, and it's basically an opportunity for significant adults to go engage with their child in the school environment. So it really does a lot to promote positive relationships. For those kids that may not have an adult that can come, we have volunteers, and then we also have school staff that step in. And so I know some of the central office crew has been down there having donuts, and we never turn away a donut, so that's great. Just wanted to give you some numbers. Just today, we fed 100 second graders and 91 adults in that. So it's a great event. Tomorrow is first grade. They plan to feed 103 adults and 100 students. Kindergarten has 129 adults that have RSVP, and 3K has 83 adults that will be attending. Super excited about that. Also, the primary school is getting ready to host their book fair, and there will be parent nights on the 26th and the 27th. This week is, the week following is Read Across America, which will be end with a carnival that's related to encouraging students to read. So lots of exciting literacy activities coming up at the primary school over the next few weeks. School nutrition was awarded a $1,500 grant. It's a farm to school grant. And so our child nutrition department is partnering with the Deal Family Farm in Franklin to provide fresh fruit and veggies. This funding was made available through the Appalachian Sustainable Agricultural Project to sustain local food procurement in our region. Also, something Jenny is doing is partnering with our foods class in the high school, and the foods class will be developing a menu for April. So, super excited about that. So Jenny is teaching them all the rules because, I think sometimes kids have ideas about what they think the menu should look like and they have no idea what the rules are. And so she's teaching them about that. and making sure that all the vegetable subgroups are met. Also looking at calorie, sodium, and saturated fat, as well as all the other USDA guidelines. So I'm looking forward to hearing how that goes. So that's exciting. Angel has been busy meeting with 2 of our partners, Young Harris College and also Western Carolina, working on building that pipeline through our student interns, and so that has been a great tool for us. We actually have some music majors that are going to be partnering with the school and doing their internships. But they've had some turnover in staff at Young Harris, so it's a great opportunity to get that relationship going, and that's already gearing up for us. And as far as Western Carolina is working really hard to create programs where they can assist with students being able to fill vacancies in hard to fill positions. And so we're very thankful that they're seeing the need and working with us as a school system to meet their university requirements, as well as help us get teachers in classrooms when we need to, particularly in those hard to fill areas. And so far the things they've been doing have been successful, and so we're excited to be partnering with them as well. All of the principals and I attended a workshop at RISA on January 22nd. It was an EBOS workshop. It was called Turning Numbers into Narratives and Making EBOS Work for You. EBOS is the tool that determines our growth ratings for teachers and for schools. And so that was a great opportunity for us to work together and learn a little bit more about EBOS. Our middle school boys team came in second in the Smoky Mountain Conference tournament. The Hayesville Middle School Wrestling Conference tournament results were Anna Gribble and Lily Watts placed second, and Mavis Gribble was conference champion. For boys wrestling in the middle school, we had third place winners Cade Marr and Dominic Banks, second place Austin Martinez and Jamie Cowan, and we had 2 conference champions, Aiden Anderson and Grayson Marr. So that wrestling program is really starting to build at the middle school level, and we're going to continue to see that pay off at the high school. So really excited about that. Middle school is being very brave and hosting a dance this weekend on Valentine's Day. So if anyone know what any of our teachers are doing on Valentine's Day, there's chaperone a dance. That'll be at Catalyst Church. Just before Christmas, the middle school students participated in a canned food drive, and they donated approximately 1,000 cans to Matt's Ministries. So excited about that. The HMS faculty participated in training for the Golden Leaf Grant through Mars Owner training that happened yesterday. Tiffany had really great things to say about that. They chose 2 power standards to develop proficiency scales with, and she said they were very engaged and excited about gaining some momentum with that training, so I'm excited about that. The Clay County Arts Council provided a grant for Hazel High School to offer another drama intensive with Carrie Hood this spring. We're excited about that. We had a successful ACT boot camp at the high school. Garrett provided that, and the feedback I got was that it was a very engaging presenter, and the kids were really excited about that. The high school is hosting parent nights to help students in each grade level plan their courses for next year. So I think that's a really great transition activity that they have planned. Those are coming up in March. And last but not least, the elementary school is starting a blanket drive tomorrow to collect blankets for the Care Center and the Hazel House. So that's a house project. So each of our houses at the elementary school does a service project. And so that is the House of Amistad's project for the upcoming few weeks. That was a lot. Any questions? It'll be real short 2 weeks when we meet for February. How long is that to talk about?
Lots of good stuff.
Lots of good stuff.
Yeah. Any questions or comments? Thank you.
Okay.
So next we have the action section. So we got the MOU for the telepsych thing with UNC.
So we're really excited about this. Psychiatry services are something that are not easily available to our students and their families. Oftentimes there's a great distance of travel that's required to seek psychiatric services, and also a long waiting list for our kids to be able to get into that. And although there's not a lot of students that require these types of services, those that do really need them. And so we're really excited to be part of it. We worked to write a grant to provide this, and so there's quite a lengthy agreement that will be between Clay County Schools and UNC, and I'm going to summarize that for you. We're also not signing this version of it because, as you can see throughout, there's places where names and things need to be filled in. It'll also be a DocuSign. There is one mistake that I have been made aware of, and that's in that first part where it says Eastern North Carolina. So I think they've duplicated what they've done with other districts, but now they're branching out to the west because services are even harder to come by in this area. So I'm going to summarize this for you. This agreement establishes a partnership between, like I said, Clay County Schools and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, specifically with the Department of Psychiatry. The purpose is to provide student behavioral health and psychiatric services through telemedicine on school campuses. So basically, the services that will be provided are through licensed UNC psychiatric providers, and they will deliver behavioral health services remotely via a secure telemedicine line. Services may be available up to 5 days per week. Students served under this agreement are patients of UNC and obviously not Clay County Schools. Our responsibilities in this agreement is that we will provide a safe and secure place on campus with appropriate internet connectivity and privacy safeguards. We need to make sure it's a private space. And we may also provide trained support staff to assist with clinic operations. So basically this grant allows for us to hire someone who's going to be the point person, taking phone calls, getting the student from class, greeting the family when they come in, and just kind of facilitating that so none of the work falls to our staff. That goes down into the next part. This will serve all 4 schools. And UNC will be responsible for supplying the medical providers, the telemedicine equipment. They will be responsible for medical record documentation, billing, and collection. So truly, we are just providing the space and the access. And there's no general exchange of funds. We can provide a person and pay $22 per hour up to $40,000 annually per person to be this, to assist with providing these services. So that is the agreement in a nutshell. Do you have any questions?
Any questions or comments about that? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we approve that MOU for telepsych.
Make a motion to approve.
I second it.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
I'll get a break.
Very good. So next we have the consent agenda. There's policies there that are there for approval. And there's minutes from the December 5th, 2025 regular session. So I'll entertain a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented. Mr. Jones is the motion. Is there a second? Trash seconds, all in favor? Thank you. And then next is closed session. So, well, we got policies listed there for first read, sorry.
Just information, yeah.
Those are in your Google Drive folder. So now I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session for personnel.
I'll make a motion to go into
Scott
closed
makes a
session.
motion. Is there a second? Mr. Jones second. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you all. Nice job.